Get to call Detective Scott Hildeman.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Please have a seat. State your name and time.
Scott Hilgeman, SCOTTHILGEMA. I'm with the Michigan State Police.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Detective Hildeman, can you tell the court what your current assignment is?
I'm currently assigned to the Muskegon Major Case Initiative, where we investigate non-conforming shootings.
As it relates to your duties with the Muskegon Major Case Initiative, were you assigned to a shooting on April 14th of 2026?
Yes.
Can you describe for the court what the general area of that shooting was?
It's on the Garmin just north of Sherman. A vehicle had ended up crashing into a front yard where the driver of the vehicle was transported to the hospital with multiple gunshot wounds.
And as a result of those injuries, did the driver ultimately pass away?
Yes.
And did you receive an autopsy report as it relates to the driver of that vehicle?
Yes.
And was the driver of that vehicle identified as handsome Peter Parker?
Yes.
I'm sure he was marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 4. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the autopsy report related to the autopsy performed on handsome Peter Parker?
Yes.
And for the purposes of preliminary examination alone, does the autopsy report indicate the manner and cause of death?
It does, yes.
And what's listed as well, I guess at this time people would move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 4, just for the purposes of preliminary examination.
No objection for the purpose of freedom.
Same. Exhibit 4 will be admitted.
Detective Hildeman, what was the determined cause and manner of death?
Cause of death was multiple gunshot wounds, manner of death, homicide.
Now, in the course of your investigation, what did you do next?
So after I received the initial call, I responded to the scene.
And what, if anything, was located for a scene?
The patient had already been transported to the hospital prior to my arrival. So there was 2 separate scenes where the shooting initially occurred, and then further down the road where the vehicle ended up crashed.
And how was it determined where the shooting had occurred?
By evidence found in the roadway.
Particularly were a number of shell casings found on the road.
Yes.
And were those shell casings collected and submitted to the Michigan State Police Crime Lab?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 5. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the analysis that was performed by the Michigan State Police Crime Lab on the shell casings that were collected from the road?
Yes.
And pursuant to the court rule, Judge, for the purposes of preliminary examination alone, the people are requesting the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 5.
No objection. No objection for freedom.
5 will be admitted.
And Detective, can you identify what the significance of People's Proposed Exhibit 5 is?
Yes, the submitted casings were analyzed by the lab. Casings 3A through 3G were identified as being, 3A through 3C were identified as being fired by the same firearm. 3D through 3G were identified as being fired by a separate firearm.
So, as an investigator, what was the significance to you?
That more than one firearm was used in the shooting.
Also, in this laboratory report, was there a comparison done between this firearm and a firearm that was seized from Deontay Thomas?
Yes,
And what were the findings as it relates to that?
that they did not match.
Now, Mr. Thomas has more than one firearm registered, correct?
Yes,
And are all of those firearms accounted for by the Michigan State Police?
As far as I understand, yes.
And have any of those firearms matched the shell casings that are in them?
No.
So is it fair to say that none of the firearms registered to Deontay Thomas that have been seized by the state police match the shell casings?
Yes.
And were you able to obtain surveillance camera footage from the area in which the shooting occurred?
Yes.
And can you describe to the court what that general vicinity is and what surveillance camera footage you're looking for?
So we were looking for surveillance footage that were going to catch vehicles in the area at the time of the shooting. One particular place that we went to was Quality Tools Stamping, which is south of the shooting scene on the south side of Sherman.
Were you able to obtain surveillance camera footage from that?
Yes.
I'll show you what's marked. What do you mean marked is People's Proposed Exhibit 10. Showing you what's marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 10, is this a fair and accurate depiction of that video?
Yes.
All right. And can you orient the court as to where they need to draw their attention to? And,
Yes, the roadway that is seen prior to all the tanker trailers that are parked is Jarman, and it travels northbound where you can see the brake lights ignited on the other side, and on the left-hand side of the screen is north of Sherman Boulevard.
and is there also a timestamp in the upper right-hand corner of this video?
Yes, sir. 4/14/2026, approximately 8:50 p.m.
Okay. I'm going to forward, and is this a fair and accurate depiction of that video?
Yes.
Your Honor, I don't know if I previously moved for this to be admitted as 10. I think I listed as proposed 10, and this time I don't need the admission of people's proposed exhibit 10.
No objection.
No objection.
That will be admitted.
In this video, are you able to capture the suspect vehicle as it approaches the shooting scene?
Yes.
Move forward to 9:05 on the timestamp. Probably should do it in seconds. At approximately 9:05:48 on this timestamp is the suspect vehicle depicted going north on Jarman, approaching Sherman.
Yes.
Can you you orient the court as to the left side of the frame, what the court is looking at?
So this is Jarman northbound, and Sherman is an east-west road that is on the other side, further north of the flag, American flag that you can see. And then in the background, where the car is parked along the curb, is East Park Manor.
And at approximately 9:06:01, does the suspect vehicle come to a stop at the intersection of Sherman and Jarman?
Yes.
At this time, Detective, which is 9:06:08, can you direct the court as to where the victim's vehicle is parked?
You can see it in the headlights of the Chevy Trax that just crossed Sherman, parked along the curb on the on the right side of the roadway.
And can you describe what's going to play out in this video before we play it, just so that we don't have to play it several times, so that the court knows what to look for?
Yes, you'll see the blue Chevy Trax pull up next to the parked vehicle. The brake lights will be on the Chevy Trax. You'll see somebody cut through the ignited brake lights that exits from the driver's side of the vehicle and approach the parked vehicle on the curb.
Now going to 9:06:29, is that when the victim's vehicle then speeds off?
Yes.
And ultimately, does that vehicle speed off and then crash a block further north?
It crashes multiple times on the way a block north before it ultimately comes to a rest.
And I'll play that back through. At half speed. And we did again. Starting from 9:06:04.
So you see the brake lights ignite on the blue Chevy Trax as it pulls up to the silver victim's vehicle, comes to a complete stop. You'll notice that the brake lights remain lit, indicating that the driver is probably still in drive or has his foot on the brake. Somebody exits the driver's side, you see the brake and the tail lights as they walk across. Only a few seconds pass by before the victim's vehicle brake lights ignite and they take off at a high rate of speed north. And then as you saw, somebody walked back over to the driver's side and got back inside the vehicle.
Detective, does it also appear that on the passenger side there is some movement in the video?
Yes, it
Yeah,
does
I'm
appear
going to
that.
object to that question. I think that to ask the witness for his opinion if he thinks there's movement in there, when we have the video right there, that's a question for the finder of fact if they see movement in the car. I don't believe this witness can testify other than his opinion as to what he thinks he sees. Therefore, he hasn't been qualified, I guess, as a mind reader. So my thinking is he's not in a position to tell the finder of fact what he believes this shows. The finder of fact determines what's in that video. So I would object to the question.
I'll leave it to the court's discretion, Judge.
Listening.
Detective, after you were able to identify the suspect vehicle, or I guess after you were able to determine the make and model of the suspect vehicle, what did you do next?
So we searched those types of makes and models and some of the specifics of that vehicle on the block.
And were you able to locate any of interest that matched the other physical descriptors that you had of the vehicle?
Yes.
And whose vehicle did you identify?
The registered owner, it came back registered to Jernay Woodford, but the real owner was Akeem Mills.
And is that based on recent contact with that vehicle, Mr. Mills?
Yes.
What did you do next?
We drafted a search warrant and to seize and preserve evidence at Akeem Mills' residence.
And were you able to also canvass the area around Akeem Mills' residence?
Yes.
And in doing so, were you able to obtain some Ring doorbell camera footage from residences that were nearby the Mills residence?
Yes.
Why were those videos significant in your investigation?
Looking at those videos from that approximate timestamp, we observed Akeem Mills' vehicle arriving back at home shortly after the shooting had occurred.
And does the vehicle arrive back at home at approximately 9:14 p.m.?
Yes.
And which is 8 minutes after the shooting?
Yes.
And what is the estimated drive time between this location and the residence of Akeem Mills?
It's approximately 8 minutes.
Now, in the search warrant executed at Mr. Mills' residence, were you able to seize his cellular phone?
Yes.
And from the deleted materials within his cellular phone, were you able to obtain a outside security cam footage of his residence?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 11. And is this that same footage?
Yes, it is.
And does it fairly and accurately depict the area outside of Akeem Mills' residence in the driveway?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 11 versus preliminary examination.
For purposes of freedom, Your Honor, I don't object.
Second.
Exhibit 11 will be admitted.
And Detective, what was the significance of this video to your investigation?
It shows, like I said, when Akeem Mills' vehicle arrives back, it shows where the occupants were seated inside the vehicle, who was driving.
And were you able to identify who the driver was?
Yes.
Who was that?
Mr. Deontay Thomas.
And who was identified as the front seat passenger?
Mr. Jalen Jones
And the rear seat driver side?
was Mr. Janico Johnson,
And the rear seat passenger?
Mr. DeAndre Johnson. Back, it shows where the occupants were seated inside the vehicle, who was driving.
And were you able to identify who the driver was?
Yes,
Who was that individual?
Mr. Deontay Thomas,
And who was identified as the front seat passenger?
Mr. Jalen Jones
And the rear seat driver side?
was Mr. Janico Johnson,
And the rear seat passenger?
Mr. DeAndre Johnson.
Sir, during the course of your review of this video, are you able to observe? Sir, during the course of your review of this video, are you able to observe a firearm on Mr. Deontay Thomas
Yes.
in his waistband? And also, during the course of reviewing this video, are you able to observe a firearm or what appears to be a firearm in the possession of Mr. DeAndre Johnson?
Yes.
Pausing the video at 54 seconds, is that in his right waistband of Mr. DeAndre Johnson?
Yes.
Now, Detective, also as it relates to this investigation, were you able to review the processing of the victim's vehicle?
Yes.
And what, if anything, well, I'll show you people's proposed exhibits 6, 7, and 8. Showing you people's proposed exhibits 6, 7, and 8. Are those fair and accurate depictions of the victim's vehicle?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move to the admission of people's proposed exhibits 6, 7, and 8.
No objection for the purpose of the rule.
They'll be admitted.
Detective, what was the significance of people's proposed exhibits 6, 7, and 8 for your investigation? Well, let's start with 6. Why is 6 significant?
6 is significant. It shows that there are glass shards, pieces of glass that encompass the entire perimeter of the window frame, indicating that Hanson Parker's window was closed at the time of the shooting.
So windows up, is that correct? And people's exhibit 7?
People's Exhibit 7 shows from the interior door panel of the vehicle where the two shots that made it all the way through the door skin and the interior into the inside of the vehicle.
And people's exhibit 8?
Shows the 2 bullet holes in the front driver's door and a third in the driver's side rear door, just below the seal of the window.
And during the course of the investigation, were any shell casings located in the vehicle of Hanson Parker?
No.
Were any firearms located in the vehicle of Hanson Parker?
No.
And Mr. Parker's window would have been up at the time of the shooting, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, during the course of this investigation, were you present for an investigative subpoena conducted with Mr. Janico Johnson?
Yes.
Was that conducted on May 7th of 2026 at the Muskegon County Courthouse in the Muskegon County Prosecutor's Office?
Yes.
At that time, was Mr. Johnson placed under oath?
Yes.
Mr. Janico Johnson?
Yes.
And at that time, did Mr. Janico Johnson indicate that he did not know who was responsible for the shooting?
Yes.
Did he indicate that, when did he indicate that he first learned of the shooting?
I believe it was through Facebook a couple days after.
And did he indicate whether or not he had seen Mr. DeAndre Johnson with a firearm?
No.
Was he questioned?
I'm sorry, was that, I'm sorry, the answer was, are you saying he?
I can clarify.
Thank you.
Was he asked whether, was he given a series of photographs?
Yes.
And were those photographs depicting individual people?
Yes.
And was one of those people Mr. DeAndre Johnson?
Yes.
And was he asked whether he has seen DeAndre Johnson with a firearm or anything that appears to be a firearm?
Yes.
And what was his response to that?
No.
Thank you.
And was it inquired of him whether he had seen a small blue SUV consistent with Chevy tracks?
I'm sorry, Karen.
Was he asked about a small blue SUV consistent with Chevy tracks?
Yes.
And did he acknowledge that Mr. Mills had a vehicle like that?
Yes.
But did he also say that he had no knowledge of anyone else driving that vehicle?
Yes.
And as it relates to Mr. DeAndre Johnson, was he also provided with investigative subpoena?
Yes.
And was that on June 8th of 2026?
Yes.
Was that also at the Muskegon County Courthouse?
Yep. Yes.
And was he also placed under oath?
Yes.
Did Mr. DeAndre Johnson indicate that he knew where Mr. Parker had been shot at or killed?
No.
So he indicated he did not know where that occurred.
Correct.
And did he also indicate that he did not know anything of the blue Chevy tracks as shown in the picture when he was shown a photograph of the blue Chevy tracks?
Correct.
And did he indicate that he did not know if Jalen Jones had been in a vehicle with him?
Yes.
So he said, I don't know, when asked whether Mr. Jones had been in a vehicle.
That's correct.
And did he also indicate, I don't know, when he had ever been in Mr. Mills' vehicle?
Yes.
No further questions?
Mr. Johnson.
Detective, good morning.
Good morning.
You were kind enough to introduce yourself to me today, so we know each other. I have a question, though. The night in question, April 14th, it rained that night, is that correct?
That's correct.
In fact, you see flashes of light in Exhibit 10, that video, the first one, that's the coming of the thunderstorm that evening, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And in fact, that was, in reading the reports, that was an issue because there was concern that the rain will wash away usable evidence, isn't that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Question two, you've testified that Mr. Parker passed away, gunshot wounds. Were the firearms that you believe caused his death ever recovered?
No.
You mentioned that you checked on Mr. Thomas's guns, the ones he has registered, is that correct?
Yes.
But that, you wouldn't be able to check on guns that he didn't register, correct? If he had a firearm that wasn't registered, you wouldn't be able to check on that,
That's correct.
unless he turned that in.
Right.
But if he didn't turn it in, it wasn't registered, you wouldn't have access to make that ballistic comparison that you were referring to earlier, isn't that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Mr. Thomas testified that before the police were able to arrive at his home, he was able to delete video?
Yes.
Okay. How long from the day of the shooting to the day that the police arrived at his home? Do you have any idea? Top of your head?
We were able to recover video from that day. It was just earlier that day.
Okay. I'm not so much concerned about the video, I'm concerned about the time between the 14th and the time you got there. What was the date that you got there when I say you, I mean the police got there for their subpoena of their investigation?
When we served the search warrant or when he was interviewed?
Your first contact with him was interview, correct?
It was when we served the search warrant at
Okay.
Mr. Mills' residence?
Yes.
Yes.
So same day. What date, how long after the shooting was that?
April 22nd.
Okay, so approximately 8 days, 7 days.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. And that was certainly time enough for him to attempt to get rid of the video, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Can you, I'm still from Grand Rapids, can you explain to me, we saw a video of the Jarman Street from, who was the manufacturer that provided it?
Is Quality Tool and Stamping, is the name of the business.
Okay, and they're on both sides of the street, or is that some other industrial concern on the other side?
I'm not sure if the parking lot with all the tankers is
Yeah.
Quality Tool or not.
Okay, I saw the big
But the
silver
building
silos.
is, yeah,
Okay.
the building is just on the other side.
Okay, so is it safe to say on that side of Sherman, Jarman is industrial?
Yes,
Okay, what's going on the other side of Sherman where the shooting took place? What's over there?
it's East Park Manor, other residences that run along that section of the roadway.
On both sides?
East Park Manor, no, East Park Manor is only on the east side of the road, and then there's residential houses on the west side.
Okay, so, it is the, well, Mr. Parker was shot on Jarman just beyond Sherman there, correct?
Correct.
Do you know what he was doing there?
I believe he was there meeting, he was supposed to meet up with somebody.
Okay, but he was sitting there parked?
Yes,
All right. And your testimony, obviously, and the others, that my client sees him and says, oh, there he is, bro, or something like that. His bro, or something like that. Okay.
yes.
You don't know, okay. So he sees him, and you notice it was dark that evening? Okay.
Yes,
And so he sees him sitting there, all right? Correct?
correct.
All right. And Mr. Parker is sitting in a, can you describe the vehicle he's in? It's silver?
It's a silver S Ford SUV.
Okay. And we able to determine if Mr. Parker was the registered owner of that vehicle?
I don't recall specifically if he was a registered owner.
Okay. Do you know if he was registered owner of any other vehicles?
I don't recall
Okay. Would it be in one of the reports?
that. It may be in the report, yes.
Yeah, so if, well, I'll start that, I don't think that. Do you have any information that my client knew that Mr. Parker was going to be at that location prior to driving up on him that evening?
No,
No phone calls between the two of them, no information of Facebook page information along those lines?
no.
Do you have, what information do you have that indicates that my client, other than him saying, bro, there's bro over there, that my client knew Mr. Parker?
Just through the interviews that were conducted of people that were involved.
The people that were involved?
Yes.
Okay. At one point, were you able to, you were able to look at the truck, I keep saying, I mean law enforcement, I apologize. Law enforcement was able to review the blue tracks that we saw, well, that you believe was the vehicle in question, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Was there anything mechanically noteworthy in terms of being broken on that car? Is it, the brakes work, the tail lights obviously work, that sort of thing?
The vehicle was processed by the lab, but I don't recall them saying anything mechanically was out of place.
Do you remember if anyone specifically asked a question about the interior lights in the car, if they were operational at the time of the incident?
No.
Okay. No one said anything, or they weren't operational?
No one said anything.
Okay. There, now, some of these new cars are so sophisticated, they keep track of door openings and door closings. Were you able to investigate if the doors were opening and closing at the same time or during the shooting in this?
Yes, some vehicles, the infotainment system inside the car will record that data. This vehicle, that was not an option.
Okay, so that data was not recorded for this vehicle, correct? Okay. There was some, initially when you began looking at the video of this incident, there was some information that perhaps there was a second car involved. Do you remember that?
Originally, we believed that, yes.
I'm talking specifically the car that came from the other direction, and the headlights flash bright and off, and bright and off, and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Okay. Was there anything to that? Were we able to make anything of that?
Not that we found.
There was no indication that was the signal for whoever was waiting on the other side to come?
No indication of that.
Okay. There's indication in the police report, that some bystanders saw other bystanders going into Mr. Parker's car when he was lying there helpless and remove a firearm. Do you remember that information?
I do remember that statement being made, yes.
Were you able to confirm it or not?
We reached out to that witness, but they have not reached back out to us to meet for an interview.
Okay. Mr. Parker's vehicle, I recognize that the tracks there were fingerprints taken from the tracks, the blue tracks, correct?
Yes.
That was part of the examination of that vehicle, correct?
Yes.
Were there fingerprints taken from the silver vehicle that Mr. Parker was driving?
I'm assuming that the lab had processed for fingerprints, but I don't recall it being lifted.
And if I told you I hadn't seen, have you seen a report to that effect, or are we still waiting on something?
I'm pretty sure we have that report. That we have.
Maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed it. It's not that big a deal.
But I know that there are some labs that we are still waiting for.
Okay. So, and DNA is being processed even as we speak, correct? Okay. Were you able to make a determination as to whether or not the windows, the window was up when the shots were fired, correct? That's the expectation because of where the glass was found?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to determine whether the shots came, where the shot that shattered the window came from inside or came from outside?
Yeah, the lab determined that the bullet holes seen in the vehicle came from the outside towards the inside.
I understand that, but a bullet traveling from the inside outside, the first shot was a bullet from the inside outside and shattered the window. It went through the window, it wouldn't be in the car, right?
Correct.
Okay, so were you able to determine from which direction the window was broken?
No.
There's white scrapes on the paint of that silver vehicle. You remember the photographs I'm talking about?
Yes.
Is that, now, the vehicle in question is, the tracks is blue, correct?
Correct.
Okay. We saw Exhibit 10, the video in question. Are there any other videos out there that the law enforcement was able to secure of that incident?
Yeah, we canvassed several other businesses in the area, but the video either was unavailable or it was even more grainy and undecipherable than we saw.
One moment, Detective. Thank you, Detective. How many further questions?
I'll ask Mr. Davis.
One second, sir. Okay, nothing, thank you.
You reheard from the people.
No, Judge.
All right, Detective, you may step down.
Your Honor, it's my understanding that defense counsel for Mr. Janico Johnson is stipulating that the fact that Mr. Johnson is previously been convicted of a felony that makes him ineligible to legally possess a firearm for the purposes of preliminary examination.
Yes.
Okay.
It's my understanding that defense counsel for Mr. DeAndre Johnson is also stipulating for the purposes of preliminary examination that Mr. DeAndre Johnson is ineligible
That's correct, Your Honor.
Stipulations will be noted.
At this time, people have no other witnesses.
Mr. Fred Johnson, do you have any evidence to present?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Davis?
No, Your Honor.
Any evidence to present? Great. I don't require argument, did you welcome me?
Judge, the people are requesting bind over. I'll do one defendant at a time. For the purposes of the record, the people are requesting bind over as it relates to Mr. DeAndre Johnson on one count of open murder, one count of concealed carry of weapon, and one count of felon in possession of a firearm. Based on the testimony provided, I'm going to reiterate the testimony. Obviously, the court's well aware of the testimony that provided. Based on a probable cause standard, I would ask that the matter be bound over as it relates to that. As it relates to Mr. Janico Johnson.
Can I stop you there?
Yes.
I think right now I have charges of felon in possession of a firearm, perjury, and open murder for...
Sorry, I was going on murder file, Judge. Do you want me to address each file separately, or? Do you
No,
want me
I
to
don't,
address all of them?
you said concealed weapon.
I'm sorry, CCW, Judge, concealed carry of a weapon.
Okay, which one would that be?
Just as it attached to the murder file.
Okay, so you want to add a charge to that?
Correct.
Okay. I'm just trying to
I
figure out my paperwork
apologize,
here.
Judge. And as it relates to the open murder file for Mr. DeAndre Johnson, the people are requesting one count of open murder, one count of felon in possession of a firearm, and one count of concealed carry of a weapon. I believe that the incident dates are the same on the file that charges the defendant with felon in possession of a firearm. But if the court binds over the matter on open murder, concealed carry of a weapon, and felon in possession of a firearm, we won't move for bind over on the felon in possession file. That will result in just one file as it relates to the open murder, and then one file for the perjury.
Okay. The current felon in possession of a firearm file, which is the file ending in 867, is dated May 27 of 26. It has an offense dated May 27 of
People are not going to be moved to bind over on that file.
26. Okay. So you're going to dismiss that one? Okay. All right. Any response to that motion, Mr. Johnson?
Well, we'll address them all with these comments, Your Honor, of the added motion, the added charge, and the request for bind over. We would oppose. We think what the people have demonstrated, I think probable cause is that the tragic loss of life here, and for that we don't argue. What we argue is against this is there, as our belief that they have not achieved by probable cause standard is showing that my client was involved in any of these matters. Their witnesses to that effect are both people who admitted to having no concern over taking an oath and then lying. Both of them have done so. Both of them have done in this case. Both, and in addition to that, Judge, they're clearly self-interested here. Both of these individuals don't want to be involved in this matter, and quite frankly, given the evidence that's been provided, certainly could be involved in it. Mr. Thomas was the driver. At the very least, he's an accessory after the fact, even before the fact, or maybe Mr. Thomas, who has a dozen guns or whatever that we know about, may have actually been the one involved in the shooting here. The other individual simply has destroyed evidence, has lied to the police. Quite frankly, he couldn't keep his story straight here. I don't know, did he, at first he said he took the fifth, and then he lied, and then his lawyer came along and got him a deal that dropped that he has no idea what the benefits are, other than the fact that a $250,000 bond that kept him in jail, that he clearly was not going to be able to pay, was down to a personal recognizance bond. Certainly that's a benefit, certainly not being charged with murder is a benefit, and quite frankly, while we recognize that there is nothing in writing or demonstrated to talk about deals that these gentlemen get, certainly it will defy the intelligence of everyone in this court to think that he won't get something for what he's doing. So those are the two witnesses placing my client on the scene. Those are the two witnesses who said he said something or did something. One of them had 10 or 12 drinks and wasn't drunk, but was too drunk to drive, but that doesn't affect his memory. The bottom line is these individuals simply lack the credibility to incriminate my client, to say that my client had anything to do with anything. They didn't even know him. We would suggest, Your Honor, that given the fact that we can't even establish that my client even knew the victim, that the testimony provided to the court is inadequate this morning. And we're asking the court to deny, find over. In fact, we're asking the court to dismiss this charge.
Based on the evidence submitted here today and testimony taken, I will find that there's probable cause to believe that a felony offense of homicide, open murder has been committed by the defendant, DeAndre Johnson, and that there's probable cause that he did carry a concealed weapon in a motor vehicle on the date alleged in the complaint, April 14 of 26. And further, that he was a felon in possession of a firearm when ineligible to do so.
And
So those will be an added count 2 and 3. Anything further at this time? Oh, with respect to, that's on file 173FY. Then on file 26249-138FY, I do find probable cause that he did commit perjury during an investigative subpoena. So I will bind it over on that charge. Anything else for the record with respect to Mr. DeAndre Johnson?
not as it relates to Mr. Johnson, Judge.
And you're going to nominate the other file?
That's correct.
Thank you. All right, then with respect to Janiko Johnson, file 26249-573, Mr. Hooper.
Judge, as it relates to this file, I believe the court has two separate files, one charging the defendant with perjury and one charging the defendant with open murder.
Perjury is already in circuit court.
I apologize, but I need not address the perjury matters. I apologize for taking the court's time addressing that during the other matters. The people are only requesting the one count of open murder.
Any response?
Yes, Your Honor. I think, thank you. We would object to bind over in this case for some reasons. All the arguments that Mr. Fred Johnson, Master Johnson, Mr. Fred Johnson made regarding credibility, I think apply as it relates to my client as well, but the two defendants are distinct. And I want to walk through some of those distinctions and why this court should not bind this matter over. The first thing is that there is no evidence, zilch, no evidence that my client possessed a weapon, used a weapon, or fired a weapon in this case. The testimony of the witnesses, even if the court believes the witnesses, which I suggest there are lots of reasons not to, But if the court believes the witnesses, what you heard from the witnesses, first started with Deontay, was that my client was in the vehicle and that it was the other defendant, Mr. Johnson, who said there's oh boy, or whatever the language was related to that. The only thing that has been said is that my client was in the car and got out of the car and got back in the car. There has been no evidence that my client had a gun, that my client fired a gun. No weapon has ever been found on all the video evidence. When we see people with guns, it's not my client that we see with a gun. There was testimony that multiple people got out of the vehicle. One of the things we heard was that 3 people got out of the vehicle. There's 2 types of shell casings that were recovered, and I'm sure that'll be the argument that the prosecution says, that there are 2 types of shell casings. But we know that people have more than one hand. Guns can be fired out of 2 hands. There is 0 evidence to say that my client had a weapon. And we don't get, like, it's preliminary exam. It's a lesser standard. It's probable cause. But it's not just we assume or we make up something that's not there. There is nothing present that shows that. And that's why we have the mere presence instruction. When somebody is merely present, there's been nothing to show that he aided. He didn't say, let's do something. Nothing on the record suggested that. Nothing on the record said he did anything after the fact related to that part. And aiding and abetting would require for him to somehow support leading into that space. So for all of those reasons, Your Honor, we're asking the court not to bind it over. No gun was secured. Testimony is that multiple people got out of the car. I'm sure I'm saying his name wrong, Akeem, said that he was informed there were 3 people out of the car. There's 2 sets of gun casings. So we're just going to say, and we choose to put one of those gun casings on Janico. Why not the other people? Because there's no connection to any of them. And quite frankly, 2 people were in that car were seen with guns. Neither of them were my client. So because the prosecution has not met its burden of a probable cause in this matter, yes, they can show that somebody died in Muskegon County. They can't show that my client did anything to cause that death. And that has to be part of it. Being in the car or even getting out of the car is not enough to get us there.
Well, based on the evidence submitted and the testimony, and I appreciate your arguments with respect to the evidence, Mr. Davis, I will point out that on the video, the brake lights remain illuminated the entire time, which indicates that the driver did not get out of the vehicle. And at least based on my reasoning, and you can see that somebody did get out of the driver's side and go over to the other vehicle. Gunshot on the vehicle show that they're in close proximity to each other, but it does appear that they are from 2 different areas, indicating that there is a second shooter. And so for purposes of preliminary exam, I do find that there's probable cause to find the defendant, Janico Johnson, over on the charge of open murder. Anything else?
For the record purposes, we will collect the exhibits and file them only, retain the exhibits.
Thank you.
Look at that. Yeah, thank you.
You got your own reason.
We're going to order transcripts.
Okay, y'all hang out for a second.
We're all set on the clock.
Good morning.
Guess who ain't else coming home?
Jesus Christ.
Thank you. What's up? How you doing? Congratulations. Thank you. All right. Okay.
Jimmy, you good with me letting everybody else out, or you want to hold tight?
We're good. It's going to be a few minutes before I get somebody else back.
Yes, sir.